Yep. Welcome to HOTC with Jay and my brother.
Jew, what it do? Y'all know this
All
is how
right.
we go ahead. Kick it to my brother too.
This is gonna be a different episode. We switching it all up. I literally just got done going through. I'm not even gonna call it. Wasn't a drill. Lockdown. Um, there was a shooting in the neighborhood, and at the time, nobody knew. Uh, well, at least we didn't. My students, we didn't know what was going on. Somebody just came in the room, brought other kids, and shut the lights off. And I was like, what's going on? And they told me, and I'm like, I didn't know anything because it wasn't, I'm being very particular with my words because this is not about speaking badly about anybody or telling on anyone, more so about the temperature of what these kids have to deal with. So, and I'll get to the point. My brother's gonna let me rock because he already know I talk a lot anyway without this subject. But there's a lot of things going on. So I thought my students were being silly, but they were actually scared. And as adults do, sometimes we tell a lot of jokes, we do a lot of goofy stuff to mask our insecurities and the fact that we're actually scared. So everybody's fine, everybody's safe. So I want to say that. But one thing I noticed that bothered me when me and my students had a moment to kind of just peel all back and have an understanding was a lot of them crying.
Mhm.
And the good thing that I feel about is I've already asked them questions in the past about what are you most scared about middle school? Because these are elementary school kids that I'm with today. And pretty much 95% of their answers is school shootings and
Mhm.
violence in school, things of that nature. And um, so I asked, how would you better prepare for that or whatever? But this is actually not the first time I saw this year, probably this month, where this has happened. Maybe it was last month, but I'm saying all that to say that it has become norm for them to where some of them are becoming numb. So with me knowing that, being that I previously talked to them already, at this moment I felt like it was time for me to see those that were crying and offer them, hey, you want a hug? Do y'all want to do a group hug? Do y'all want a moment of silence? How do y'all want to actually deal with y'all emotions right now in this moment? And um, I gave a couple people hugs. Other people, of course, they wanted their space. They didn't want to talk to anybody. And we granted that. And then I gave them all about 5 minutes. And then I said, hey, nice shirt, sir. Nice shirt. That's definitely got your name written on it.
Thank you. Therapist Jew was here this morning.
Pro helps too.
You know what
That's
I'm saying? On my Isaac Pee Wee Newton. That was not a
yeah,
person.
yeah. It's not. I got to get you some glasses to go with that. But
Some buffs.
the glasses with your money that you just gave me the other day because you borrowed me $20.
As long as they Cartiers, man, I don't care what they is. I don't care who
But he
money
can
it
get
is.
them. Yeah. But I know we off subject. But what I did, uh, I'm not even gonna make this a marketing ploy, even though I am still saying it. But I have a song called "Musical Chairs," and I did a bachata version as well too for my kids to feel the genre of music that they like. And this is normally a game that we play in class, and I wasn't gonna play it today, but in a moment of them feeling the way that they felt, I wanted to end the class on a good note. But I asked them, I didn't force them, hey, let's get up, let's dance, let's shake this off, because it's just not that easy for everybody. So I asked, and all of them wanted to play. So I noticed even in that moment, they all played. Nobody was really worried about losing because I think they were just grateful to be able to do something that simple. And
Hmm.
I'm probably about to tear up. So before, yep, this is it. Before some of the kids left, they thanked me for doing that. They said, you made me feel better.
That's big, bro.
What I told them though is, I'm like, sometimes y'all seek adults and parents in these moments, and y'all don't think that we going through what y'all going through. Cause I'm going through my trauma. I'm trying not to how your voice crack when you cry. Like, I'm trying not to do that. That's why I just get silent. But I'm trying not to let them know that I'm actually reliving my traumas while I'm securing them, right? And it's a lot. you know, you know exactly what I would say, but I'm PC, so I'm not gonna go there. But if you know me, you know I overthink, and this day did not surprise me. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? As well as any future doesn't mean that I'm not a little moved by it, or but it's like, oh, here we go again. So, and that's how the kids feel, and it hurts my heart. But what joys me, if that's a sentence or a phrase, is
We'll
to know
go with it right now. We'll go with it.
better that than a shout out, right? Uh,
Hey, no, hey, I don't know. I feel like you done shot at them kids out a couple times.
Nah, that don't count. That don't
Okay.
count. That don't count. But no, to be able to turn that around, I don't know how they're gonna go home and how it's going to affect them in the future. But to know that they know that there's somebody that really cares about their emotion more so than get over it, stop crying. And I'm not saying that any teacher said that or any of the staff or any of that, but for the day to just continue and for this to be dismissed, you nothing happened, like that type of response I don't think is important. I think people like you, because I was thinking of this, but I know I couldn't do it exactly. I'm like, man, I wish I could just all get them on Zoom and they could just get like 5 seconds of, not 5 seconds, 5 minutes of therapy with my brother, because it will really be beneficial.
I
Go
want
ahead.
to, no, because this is important. This session didn't go, I mean, this conversation didn't go as planned because I was about to say, how about let's do that? Let's teach parents right now how to help their kids coming home, and let's teach the kids right now how to even process emotions. Maybe that's what this is about because that's a big thing. And even just hearing you say that, you handled that in a way that I want to see you give yourself a pat on the back, brother, because you know it's all there. It is. You know it's all praises to the Most High for you to even be that person there. You, James, to be able to do that for them. It's bro. If y'all would have asked him 5 years ago, he wouldn't be in no school. You know, so
Two
it's
years ago,
2 years.
3 years.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say two. He out of pocket now, but
Yeah,
nah.
yeah, that's why I said 3 years.
But to hear him like me and James done had some real talks about his trauma, you know what I'm saying, and how it does trigger that flight or flight response. I don't even want to put myself in that situation. So to know that he has been putting himself in a situation daily with kids for them, like, yeah, of course, he has to get paid. That's something he would do. But if he wasn't getting paid, I don't see him doing anything else. And I think that says a lot about you. And I think the kids feel that too. So that's I wanted to give you a shout out because to have kids come up to you and say, yo, like this doesn't change the situation, but you make this a little bit better. That changes everything because you can't change the situation. It's out of your control. But what can you do? You could be their safe space. And now let's bring it to the parents because I think that's something that parents, because they haven't dealt with their trauma, they don't know how to console. They don't know how to sometimes be there for their kids, and kids don't know what they need because this is their first time living. You know, just like yours, your first time living, you probably didn't know, oh, the reason I'm avoided when I get angry is because I actually want physical touch. That's not something that you just naturally put together. So this is where it's like we're able to talk about this. You know, so parents, you might know your kids' love languages, and this is where you're not their friend, you're their parent, and this is where you might need to push. If your kids' love language is quality time, well, when they're going through a time of stress, they may be isolating themselves. So that means that you need to make an effort to go and do something they want to do, whether it's just sitting in a room and they want to be on their phone and quiet. You just be on your phone, be quiet, just spend that time with them. If they're physical touch and you notice they're a little bit more avoidant or they're reluctant to touch you, go out your way to ask them, can I get a hug right now? Go out your way to ask them, can I kiss you on the cheek? Because these are signs of intentional effort, but this also releases a chemical in our brain, serotonin. You know, this gives us the feelings of love, the feelings of fulfillment. And after a day like today, this is something that you should prioritize with your kid. Your kid shouldn't come home doing homework. Your kid shouldn't come home having to think about school. They should come home being a kid because they have to be an adult during the day.
What happened? I'm cutting that out too. It ain't. I ain't doing that for shock value or that we keeping it so real. We
I'm
just
telling
gonna.
you, we got some hearts because boy, that is definitely how that goes viral. And that's not the point of this. You know what? Can you keep that part in though? Because I do think that's important that people see this side of things, that we're not
Yeah.
doing this to go viral. Not
Oh
keeping
yeah,
it
yeah.
in, but us explaining that we're not keeping that in. Because I think that's important because we talk about all the time. It seems like people only talk about what goes viral. They don't talk about the behind the scenes. They don't talk about the part that goes in it. They don't talk about the parts that you got to sacrifice of yourself to go viral. And this isn't a part that it's like we feel goofy doing it. That's our integrity. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, that's not what this about. Um, we're not trying to relive trauma. We're trying to heal from it. So, bringing that all the way back to the forefront, we have a complex as humans of wanting help but not knowing how to ask for help, wanting help but being too prideful to ask for help. Adults have it and kids have it. And so, in situations like this, a kid is going to feel like they might not need to ask for help if that's what adults have been showing. Because if you think about it, kids learn their mannerisms and behaviors from adults. Well, if my dad always act like there's nothing a problem or nothing is getting to him, why should I do that? Why should I be any different? So being able to show vulnerability to your kids, being able to talk to them, hey, I heard y'all had something go on at school. Like it scared me because I was worried about you. That's a different type of vulnerability. So I think I left off on physical touch. They might be avoiding, so try to be intentional with giving them love. Words of affirmations. They might show out in anger. They might yell. They might be more aggressive. Speak to them in a calm manner still. Try to figure out where the anger is coming from and meet them with words of affirmations, words that's reaffirming. I'm missing one of the love languages: quality time, physical touch, words of gift giving. I ain't gonna lie. I think I always love gifts, so I can't say nothing there. Oh, the type of gift actually. Don't give a little a gun. Shout out Pino and Des, man. My brother, my y'all brother, my y'all sister, man. All praises to the most high. They like don't let their kids play with guns, like toy guns, play guns, water guns, things like that, because they like that's not something we're trying to instill into our kids. You can have fun other ways. It don't always have to be with a gun. It doesn't always have to be with violence. And I really admire that because at first it was like, damn, why not? You know what I'm saying? But then I'm like, why so? Like, why do they need to have that? And it's like us as being their godparents, y'all parents, we respect that because it's like I'm not gonna go give him a little that. Let's get him a dinosaur. Let's get him a racetrack. Let's get him a baseball or something that they enjoy, a book. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I think gift giving in that way, you can also set your kids up for failure by either spoiling too much or not giving them gifts that's attributed to them. Like for an example, you liked wrestling growing up, but what if I just came and gave you like a toolkit? You'd be like, bro, I don't want this. Like you'd be like, and you get, hey, pops pop up with a lawnmower, James. For you, big dog, a riding lawnmower. Like I don't want this. Where the computer at? Where the
Right.
booth at? So being able to meet your kids where they're at, especially after a day like today where it was stress and trauma, they have to be adaptable. Maybe the kid wants to just play on the game and play Minecraft or play Roblox. Ask
Mhm.
them what's going on and sit there and talk with them about it. I know you might be tired as the parent, but think about the effort that you're instilling into the child of how they're trying to process emotions now. So that's kind of where I was gonna go as far as like being able to not just teach kids how to think about what they need, but also teach the parents like the effort that you have to make will always be two times, three times as more when it's trying to heal something that you haven't even healed from. Because
Yeah.
how can you expect them to heal from something we think as humans like this, oh, I'm not like my dad, so my kid won't go through the same things I went to, so they won't have that same trauma. You didn't heal from those things that you went through with your dad. You just said you won't be like this. What about these other ways? And then that's where we get to talk about like how me and you used to talk. Oh, you're more like with dad than we even imagine. And these are the mannerisms. So that's what I wanted to say. I'm talking too much now.
No, you good. That made me go down memory lane of because you always tell me in moments where we laughing, which hurts more, not really hurts, but it sticks more. Because it's like, wait, we not laughing no more because I'm gonna take accountability. I'm like, wait, you talking about me right now? While we and I had to give it up. I'm like, yo, that is I am like that more than. And you know what? Another thing too, I think I know when I was so angry at dad, I didn't want an attachment to him. You know what I mean? Like I didn't want to be said, it made me angry when people would say you look just like your dad. Like out of respect, I just wouldn't say anything. Because
Like
I'm
me
his
with
dad.
y'all.
I still have respect for him. But it's like you can't say I don't look like dad. But uh going back to you, General, you did the same thing with me. Oh, you ain't come to my games. What? Like,
Yup.
come on now. Now you being a little
I don't remember you at any of them things. And you know
yeah.
what? I remember I told you my first time I used to call you my half brother. Remember I said that? I said that. I remember I was like, I was talking with Walter or something, and I was like, yeah, I was telling him like, yeah, I was talking to my half brothers. You was like half brothers. Like what? I was like, yeah, y'all my half brothers. Y'all wasn't around. And that was the first time I remember being like, damn, that's kind of fucked up. That's one.
I
I'm
mean,
only
it
counting that
ain't,
one.
but
I'm only counting that one.
you ain't counting all the ends that I gotta edit.
Bro, we black. Yeah.
Uh,
Well, let's put them
I
down.
don't think I ever liked the idea of half brother. I don't. Here's the thing with me. I don't know why I'm like this with holidays. I don't like holidays. I don't like. I never liked the idea of stepmom, stepdad, in-laws, half brother, like all of that. It's like I'm gonna just say what it is. Is this my mom? Okay, this is my mom. Call her mom. Even with your mom back in the day, uh, I would say her name because that's how dad wanted us to talk to her. But when I got grown, it's like this mom's. It's like, especially when I call like all of my best friends, mom's mom. I just don't see the idea of calling my stepmom by her name. I get it out of respect. Like, this is what I want you to call me if she said that. But everybody is mom. Like
And
my
that's
wife's
funny, but that shows the hurt though that I had towards my brothers. Because that, yeah, like that's what we're
no
agreeing.
consideration. Oh, it was a little consideration because you gave us
Yeah.
half.
Yeah, like it because I didn't completely cut it off because I always wanted that connection. Like, yeah, because yeah, I got brothers. Don't act like I ain't got brothers. They just have. You know what I'm saying? They come. But now that I'm older, I understand it's because dad was like a wall there. Whereas like there is no getting to me without going through dad. And as a kid, that's why I think those conversations, that's why I always talk about that. Like I don't think we give kids enough credit for being able to understand. We say they can't handle it because we don't know how to process emotions. So
Mm-hmm.
because the adults don't want to deal with the emotion, they just say, "Oh, they can't handle it. They too young to handle it." When it's like, no, there's quite like for an example, in domestic abuse, I don't want the kid to see their dad like that. Well, now you're taking emotions into it because that's who his dad is. His dad is this beater. His dad is this woman beater who has beat his mom. You're not turning him against him. You're speaking truth.
Yep, it's the programming.
And it's crazy because we might get shut down before we get started, but it all started back with the Rockefeller. Like it all started with them boys, man. They literally created a system of school where it's supposed to work like a corporate business. It's not about educating the kids or actually caring about the kids. Because if it would be in these moments, you can send people home. If the workforce cared about families, go pick your kid up that just had this shooting happen. We can cover for you. Now, this is something that we talk about community. We're starting to build that. At the Rise School, it wouldn't be like that. That's all I'm saying. So,
Because
in
we
it,
we gated. We gated.
So let I'm saying, and that's the community. That's what they've taken away from us. Community. They made us all try to become an individual. That's why capitalism is that I don't care if people, oh, so you're a socialist. I'm wrong for caring about other people.
Right.
Like that's why they put labels on things.
I was just about to say that. You're more concerned with the word than what the word means. My bad. I'm just paying
No, you
attention.
good.
Uh, because the crazy thing is how the students walked in. They was like, she was like, all right, just go in there. And I'm like, hold on, like it's another class in here. And she was like, oh no,
Uh
lockdown. It happened so calmly. What's up?
um I actually have a meeting that I thought was at 12 my time.
We cut
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. So, hey, y'all, this is the behind the scenes of Hearts to the Community with Jew and Jay. We love y'all. We're going to have to talk about this a different time.